everybody, it's Christine, the Haunt Girl. Today I am talking about The Ladder at Hatch. Yes, I know. We have been anticipating this game for like 5 years, and it's finally here. Okay, this is the long review version. Just a heads up, if you want the 1.5-minute version, that's a different link. And a shout out to Amber. Thank you so much for inviting us to play the beta test with you. I am so glad we got to do this. Okay, The Ladder. It's about climbing a corporate ladder. Yeah, it's not my theme, but whatever. I was like, I'm gonna go and it's gonna be fun. And like, I realized that I am more invested in being angry at men who condescend down to women in the corporate world or any place, but specifically in the corporate world. Just the hierarchy makes me angry. I was really invested in the story pretty quickly, and I was yelling back at the video screens that were pre-recorded videos of characters. Yeah, that happened. They did a really great job of creating this villain to be the most villainous jerk that I could possibly hate. We started out, we chose our character. It's one of 5 avatars. And then we went into, like, you start working your way up from, like, the mailroom. I love how they took the early decades of, like, the 50s and made the lighting so unique that it felt very much like you're part of what we think of when we think of that decade, not necessarily what that decade was like. So I just thought that was really cool. I also liked how they played with a lot of the different things in that room in a way that it just felt really special. So I thought that was cool. And I laughed hysterically at a reveal in that room that when you play, you'll see, and you'll be like, that's the moment Christine cackled. It's pretty early on. You'll know. It was really fun. I was like, oh, snap, we got to do that now. And I was just like, I loved it. Okay, let me go through some of the basics before I get into like super experienced stuff. It's between $75 and $95 a person, 4-person minimum. I highly recommend at least 4 people go. Like, don't just pay for 4 tickets and show up by yourself because, I don't know. There's a lot to do. Like, there's so many puzzles. They say on the website 2 to 12 players. Yeah, you could probably have 12 and still have plenty to do, in my opinion. You travel through 8 different sets to decades of 1950 to 2000. I'm just reading my notes here. 5 avatars, 12 multiple endings. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so what I gathered when we were there is you choose one of your avatars, and if you follow the puzzle track for the story, which is different than the puzzles for earning money in climbing the corporate ladder. If you follow the story track, then if you solve everything, you get to make different choices, which changes the outcome of the experience you have in the story that you have. We had 4 people, and we would like sort of work on the story, and then we would also want to see all the other stuff because we wanted to see everything, and we just didn't have enough people to do that, to like do both tracks. So we didn't successfully complete either track. I think that's going to be something that will happen to other, specifically enthusiasts and immersive story people who are like, I want to see it all. Like, pick the story track and stick with it. And then if you have extra time, earn the money. Or just go in to earn the money and just completely neglect the story track. But don't try to do both unless you have, I would say, at least 6 people. That's my personal opinion. If we had a couple more people, we maybe could have done both, but we just didn't. We didn't complete either track. So you start climbing your way up from like the mailroom. The story track is really interesting. We could see where there were choices that we would have been able to make, but we didn't complete it, so we weren't able to. So I definitely had that frustration of like, I just want to be able to choose stuff in the story. Don't think that you can just go in and choose a different story path because you're there. You have to solve those puzzles. So focus on solving those puzzles. There were a lot of physical puzzles, and I love that. People who know me know I love just like throwing things and like whipping around doing like physical puzzles and mazes. There's also other types of puzzles. There were some physical challenges that I found really challenging. And I like that sort of puzzle. I was like, oh, I don't think so. Like, I was like, this isn't happening today. Not today, ladder. Not today. Communication is really important. I know that we always say that in escape rooms, but like it's really important in this game, especially when you get toward the end. If you want to be successful in like the corporate part of the ending we got of one of the 12 endings, apparently, but the one that we were in, we would have been so much more successful if we would have just stopped, communicated, and then started again rather than just trying to do everything on our own, because we had definitely gotten to like fallen into a habit of just trying to do things on our own and like finding like something to work on and then just working on that by ourselves, because there were only 4 of us and there was so much to do. I mean, there's just so much to do in this game. So that's an insider tip. I mean, you know that. We knew that. We just got it in the moment and then we just didn't do it. Definitely once you get to that like a room, you'll know, with like all the stations, and be like, just communicate with each other. Just pause, communicate, and then make a plan of action, and you'll be much more successful than just trying to run around by yourself and not playing as a team. I'm super curious to go back and play as a different avatar, follow the story, and figure out the mystery of what's actually going on, make choices, see a different ending. Like there's a lot of potential of things that could have happened while we were there that like we didn't get to see, and I have a really hard time. I'm one of those people, like I want to see it all, and I think the only way to see it all is to go in, especially the first time you go in, and realize that you can't see it all the first time, and focus on one thing and see that thing fully and experience it, and don't worry about what you're missing out on, and just assume you're going to come back. Because I think that you'll have a much better time than going in trying to see as much as possible and think you'll only go one time and then just be like overwhelmed and frustrated because you didn't get to see this and you didn't get to see that, and there's no way that you have time to do all the puzzles in the room by yourself. I mean, maybe if you freeze time or you're a superhero or something, I don't know, but I couldn't have. I'm not that skilled. And I've played a lot of games and I'm like, this is something unique and different from anything I've seen out of hundreds of experiences. I definitely think it's worth checking out if you're coming into town and you're like, what's the most unique thing I can see in SoCal? This is definitely up there with the most unique experiences that we have to offer in our region. Shout out to all of the people over at Hatch who put in all of these years of work on this project. I can't wait to see it completely finished. And I can't wait to go and just like solve the mystery of the actual story itself, as well as just try to find different endings. I love that sort of thing. I am definitely a person who would read a choose your own adventure book multiple times. So if you're like me, I think you're going to find this to be a fascinating experience. Thanks for watching. Check out my blog, thehauntgirl.com. Again, shout out to Amber for inviting us to play. And yeah, follow, subscribe, like, comment, all the things. Let me know if you've played it, what you think. Try not to give too many spoilers, but also like, I want to know. Maybe we should start a Discord channel and we just talk about like all the different endings. No, I want to find them. I want to experience them myself. We'll have none of that, folks. No spoiling the endings. All right.